Have you ever stood in a building full of 1,500 people, adults and children alike, and not known a single one? I have, and it was probably the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life. My name is Carly Brady, and I come from a very small town full of 30,000 people in Indiana. The town's name is Vincennes, and it is also known as the meth capital of the world. This is Vincennes. It's on the very southern part of Indiana, right on the Kentucky border. I moved all the way to Pittsburgh, where you guys know is in western Pennsylvania. So, when the reason why my parents chose to move me to Pittsburgh was because I had said earlier, Vincennes was the meth capital of the world, and they didn't feel like that was a great place to raise their daughter. Vincennes is a farming community and it is relatively safe, but when you raise teenagers there, a lot of them tend to get involved in the wrong activities because there's not a lot to do there. The idea of a fun Friday night in Vincennes is going to Walmart and then Applebee's for dinner and partying after dinner. So I can understand why they didn't want me in that situation. The boredom and teenage thrill from not having anything to do in Vincennes is what causes a lot of the drug problems that there are there today. And that's why my family chose to move me 8 hours and 800 miles away from Vincennes to Pittsburgh, away from my family, my friends, and the only life that I had ever known for 12 years. So after we arrived in Pittsburgh, life got pretty hard. I was 12 years old, almost 13, and I didn't know anyone. When I started school, I thought that no one wanted to talk to me, no one wanted to be my friend because school had begun, but everybody had their own friends. No one wanted to be with me, no one wanted to talk to me or do anything. So that was really difficult for me because I felt so left out and out of place. So as school started to get really difficult and I started to lose hope that I would ever make any friends, after a couple days of starting, I met twin girls named Sarah and Jess, and they helped me out so much. They were my confidants and best friends through all the way through high school, but they introduced me to new people and people that I probably would have never talked to had I not moved to Pittsburgh. So it was really amazing to meet them and make friends with them, and I will forever be grateful for what they did for me. So, at first, when I found out that I was moving, I thought it was going to be really bad, and I thought my life was going to be horrible until I graduated and moved back to Vincennes. But that didn't happen, and that was not the case. Moving actually turned out to be very good for me, and I stayed on the right path and graduated with honors. So, by moving, I got to meet a lot of various people that I would have never chosen to become friends with in Vincennes, and I would have never hang out with those type of people. But I also learned a lot about myself and who I really am. And I learned how independent I can be and still take care of myself. I learned so much about myself, in fact, that I'm totally fine with being in a room full of so many people who all know each other and not knowing anyone and being by myself. It is okay for me to do that now, which is a great thing. It's a great trait to have for a 13-year-old. Also, as I had said earlier, there's not a lot to do in Vincennes, and the fact that Pittsburgh has so much to offer, it was really an advantage of moving because I was able to go to the movies or ice skating or to Kennywood on my weekends and not get involved in the wrong activities and with the wrong crowd. So it actually worked out really, really well for me. Overall, moving affected me in so many ways that I would not even be able to explain all the ways that it affected me. However, I do know that it made me a very strong person, and I learned that by doing things that scare you, you learn how strong you truly are in life.